Yes, 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 yes.
Hey guys, so we're just having some dinner after we went to a street festival. We were a bit late. I have a friend who is hosting a dance battle competition, and we missed literally all of it except for the final moment where they picked the winner. It was disappointing because we wanted to get some good footage of a dance battle, hip-hop dance battle, but shit happens. Anyways, we were watching the dancing and I was thinking, what kind of video can we do from this? And the idea came to me about being in the spotlight. You know, when you're dancing and you're in the middle and everyone's in the circle or it's a competition, whatever, and everyone's watching you, that's your moment to prove yourself. And that works in, you know, a concert situation where it's just you proving yourself with your art, or a dance battle competition, or even if you're at a party and you're the center of attention because you're telling a story or someone's asking you a question and everyone's giving you their undivided attention, you're going to find yourself the center of attention a lot in social situations. And how you handle that attention is going to make the difference between you being high status and low status. So I want to talk about how to handle that situation and use it to your advantage and to gain social status through being a king in the spotlight. So now to the topic. That was a bit loud. Okay, so how to use the spotlight properly and how to use it to get social proof and to get pre-selection and to get pussy and to get friends and to be cool and to look cool. The spotlight can come about two different ways. One, you get it, let's say theatrically. If you get the spotlight theatrically, what I mean is, for instance, what I'm doing right now, this is theatrics, right? Or you're, as with the intro, you're at a hip hop festival, you're at a hip hop event and you're dancing in front of everyone. Or you're at a club and there happens to be a dance circle and you go in the middle and you start dancing. These are theatrical ways or forced ways or eventful ways that you get the platform to use the spotlight to gain social proof and pre-selection. So for those of you who don't know what social proof means, it basically just means popularity. Social proof is you're having the acceptance and the validation and the admiration and the respect of the crowd. And so right now I'm in a crowd. There's not physical people here, but you are watching this at home on your phone or on your computer. And so I'm theatrically gaining the spotlight. And so to do this, it's simple. You have events happen where you have a skill and you can show it off, or you have a public speaking project in your class in college, or you have a presentation at work. These are ways that you can theatrically get the spotlight, get everyone's attention, and then you have to perform. You have to know what you're talking about, first of all, or know how to do the thing that is being presented, right? I'm teaching how to date girls, how to get sex, how to get relationships, how to use the spotlight to get social proof. If you're at a dance event, you gotta know how to dance. And the better you are, the more social proof that you're going to get. You're gonna get validation for being good at that thing. And girls are attracted to men with skills, and men respect men with skills. And so social proof is the admiration and the respect, and then pre-selection is the attraction that you get from the women who are watching you. So basically think about social proof as general popularity, and think about pre-selection as, let's go here. So social proof, remember that. That's basically just general societal social validation. And then you have pre-selection. And pre-selection is the best, because pre-selection is women flirting with you, women wanting to fuck you, women actually fucking you, and then everyone knows about it. And that is much stronger than social proof. But social proof can lead to getting sex and pre-selection. So the girls in the audience liking you, that they're giving you pre-selection, because the girl sitting there next to the other girl is gonna see how this girl is looking at you like, just an admiration, and that's gonna make her attracted, because women are attracted to men who other women are attracted to. It's just a natural law of the fucking universe. So I'm up here doing what I do, and there are women who are attracted to me for it. I've slept with a fan before. So you can get not only respect from men, but you can get pussy from theatrically having a skill and showing it off. So get some skills, get good at things and present them, right? It doesn't mean anything if you're good at something, but you're not showing it to the world. There are plenty of guys who are amazing fighters, amazing artists, amazing DJs, whatever, but they don't show the world what they're doing. For whatever reason, they're a pussy, they don't want to go mainstream, I don't know. There's a bunch of reasons why you would Avoid showing the public your skills, but you should be showing them your skills. Because why have something if you can't profit from it? And usually, I mean, if you love doing it, why wouldn't you just love doing it in front of everyone? Because then you can get money and pussy from it, right? Maybe if you turn it into a living, you're gonna lose your love for it, but that usually doesn't work the way I think it does, you know? I love women, I love sleeping with women, I turn it into a lifestyle, and I love it even more now than when I did just, you know, in my college, and I'm just a nobody who's sleeping with women. Now I can use that skill to make money and to get laid, so why not? Second way to get the spotlight is, let's call it just social spotlight, incidental spotlight. So social spotlight is, I'm at a party and here's the circle of people, right? Let's just think of this as a social circle, literally, and everyone's in this group, right? So this person's talking to this person's talking to this person. You've been in a room before, you know, usually they're gonna gravitate and they're gonna move and she's gonna come sit next to him, or these three people are talking to each other now, or whatever. But at some point, there's gonna be a situation where someone is talking to, let's say I'm here and I'm talking to her, but we're having such an engaging conversation that these four people are in a conversation, but this person over here starts to pay attention to this. And you'll see this with small little eye movements, like they're like, you know, you're having a really animated conversation, yeah, da, 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 and you can kind of see you have to have good peripheral vision. You can see in the corner that that girl in that other group talking right now is paying attention to you. And then the other people are gonna notice it too, because usually one person is the center of the conversation in every conversation. And so the guy over there, he's talking to these girls, but now they're paying attention to me because this girl is really getting into me. And so everyone always wants to go with who's winning and who's popular and who's doing cool stuff. That's just the way it is. I know it sucks to not be the guy who's getting the attention, but that's just the fucking way it is. So either get good at stuff, right? Because if you go up to dance and you kill it, but the other guy doesn't, you're gonna get more social proof because you were good at it. Whereas social proof or incidental social proof with the spotlight, social spotlight, is gonna happen because you just happen to be doing things. And when you happen to be doing things, you happen to be talking to this girl and she's really liking you, then it's even more natural. It's even higher value because the women are gonna choose to come talk to you and they're gonna choose to come give you their attention. And so they're gonna start by paying attention to you visually, and then they may even turn their bodies and really get invested, or they might even jump into the conversation. If you're having a great conversation with someone turns around and like, oh, what are you talking about? Boom, now you added a second viewer or audience to your spotlight audience. And then eventually, if you're doing a good job, what happens is they're gonna pay attention, then they're gonna pay attention. Now this person lost their crowd basically, so they, you know, they're not gonna just fucking talk to themselves, so now they are almost forced to pay attention to you. So now you have all these rays of sunshine pointing towards you and you have a fucking spotlight, hence spotlight, right? There's a big spotlight fucking right here. If you are getting all the attention, you by default have the spotlight, then you need to perform. But instead of performing a specific skill like dancing or acting or whatever, you're going to be performing yourself, which is even more difficult because you have to present yourself in an attractive way. So you need a sexy voice, right? What are some ways that you can be attractive? Attractive traits / behaviors. So, sexy voice. And I have a video in the description, so go check that out. I have facial expressions. I think we have a video for that as well. I don't know if it's up though, but I'll put it up at some point. If you guys are lucky, if you're a good little slut for me, I'll fucking put it up. Okay. Voice, facial expressions, body language, right? So, you know, you're in that circle that I was showing and everyone's paying attention to you now, but now you know you have a crowd. And when you have a crowd, I'll tell you how to do that. But first let me note that over here, just how to use, because my brain is always like fucking going this way. So body language, storytelling techniques. Storytelling is fucking huge, and I'll do a video on that at some point. I'll teach you how to how to make arcs in your storytelling and and I'll tell a story and I'll show you, I'll demonstrate it to you. But you want to have these things, and obviously you have your natural fundamentals with the way you look, right? So if you happen to get the spotlight, It's kind of like that saying, it's better to be prepared and nothing happen than something happen and you're not prepared. So that's why you should always want to maybe look your best. You should stay in shape, not just for the summer, but year round, because you happen to be in a good situation socially and the girls are checking you out, and maybe you went to the gym a couple times that month and now you look a little more ripped, and that can mean the difference between her fucking you and her not fucking you. It's all about percentages. So you want to do these small things like have a sexy voice and learn how to talk with it, how to use it too. How to have sexy facial expressions, how to have sexy body language. You're talking to her and then everyone's paying attention to you now. Now you have to address the crowd and you're like, da, da, da. And you're getting them engaged because you communicate with more than just your voice. You got to paint pictures for people. And storytelling. Storytelling is huge because most of the time you're either speaking about ideas or you're telling a story. That's it, right? You're discussing an idea based on an event, or you're discussing a story or telling a story yourself. So that is how you be attractive under the spotlight. Then you have to use the spotlight, because it's one thing to be attraction does not mean action. Attraction does not mean action. Just because a girl's attracted to you doesn't mean she's gonna sleep with you. It means she wants to sleep with you, but you have to turn it from wanting to actually doing it. So now we have to use the spotlight properly. And that is a little more difficult, because a lot of people, and I've fucking messed this up, is you get too caught up in the spotlight. You're like, look at me, I'm in the spotlight, but then you don't use it. It's like having a bunch of money and not fucking buying anything with it. It's like, well, you're not gonna take it to your grave, so you might as well fucking use it. So how do you use the spotlight? Firstly, you wanna use it to magnify attraction. And the way that you magnify attraction is, one, either do it generally. So you have the spotlight, okay? Now you gotta shape up your act. So again, you were talking to this girl, you were telling a story, and she got really engaged. She's like, oh my God, and everyone can kind of see how she's so into this story. Then everyone else starts paying attention. Now you have to turn to the crowd because you're noticing that everyone's paying attention to you. So then you have to present, yeah, and then I did this, and then I put my dick in her mouth, and then I jumped out the window because her husband came home, and blah, blah, blah. And you're telling the whole fucking story to the crowd. So you're magnifying it generally, you're performing. And then the girls watching it and the guys watching it are gonna get even more into it. Because if you notice that people are listening, but you keep on just talking to her, then you're not adjusting to the situation. You have to adapt to the situation. If you have only 2 or 3 people listening to you, they're right here and they're right here, then you turn your body a little bit, then you include them. And the way that you include people is by giving them eye contact. So you're telling the story to her at first, then you turn to the other people, you're like, and then this and that, because you notice that they're paying attention. And then they're gonna feel happy that you included them, because it's obviously a high value thing that's happening right here. And then you draw them into it and they're gonna be like, oh, this guy gives good emotions, he cares. And he actually wants us to be involved. And that's a very high value thing. Being high value and then bringing high value people into it is a high value move. So include the people by giving them eye contact and addressing parts of the story to them. Maybe you're like getting to a certain point of the story and then you go, but then, da-da-da-da, right? They didn't expect you to flick their eyes towards them. And then when someone pays attention to you and they're in the spotlight, don't you feel, it's like if you went to some conference and you really liked the presenter and then he turned to you and started looking at you when he's talking, you're gonna be like, oh, let me suck your dick. Thank you. It just feels good to have that spotlight. You're sharing the spotlight. Share the spotlight. This is something that a lot of guys fuck up when they dance at the clubs. I like to dance at the clubs. That's how I learned. I've taken some classes, but most of my dancing skills, which are amateur at best, they're from clubs and just dancing in the clubs and dancing in the bars. When you're a decent dancer, and I'm usually, if I go to a club, I'm one of the best dancers there, unless there's someone who like takes classes. I get attention. Tons of times I've had circles around me because I'm dancing, or I've had the whole fucking club watching me one time. When that happens, you want to make sure that you don't abuse the spotlight. And I've done that before. Don't overstay your welcome. And you can do that by sharing the spotlight. When it comes to dancing, you're dancing, everyone's paying attention, like, oh, oh, right? Then you turn and you see if anyone else wants to get in, because usually the other dancers are like, who, they're getting into it. They want you, they're building up the vibe, and you can like beckon them to come in, right? And usually they'll just start dancing on the side on their own. Then you can just like invite them in, or you can just fuck off, right? You don't want to abuse the spotlight, share it, allow other people to be inside of it. And when you're talking to someone and you include other people in the conversation, that's sharing the spotlight. Or you could be targeted with your magnification. And that means giving her special attention, that girl that you like. You're giving her special attention. And you're telling a story and you give her that extra 5 seconds of eye contact, especially if it's at like a sexy part and you give her like a sexy smile and you're like, hi, da, da, da. That's gonna be really, really attractive. So that's how you magnify the attraction, share the spotlight by either, and then you either wanna generally magnify or target magnify the attraction. Then you have to end it properly. That's the last part. How to end. How to end. And the way that you end is you're either gonna do one of three things. One, you're either gonna retreat into the shadows, which basically means, okay, it's like I'm dancing in the crowd, and I'm like, da, da, and then I finish, and then I just go, yeah, da, 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 boom. That's it. I'm just casual and cool. And how that's gonna come off is that you're used to being in the spotlight, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I had all the attention to the people, right? Something most of these people want, because it means feeling good and getting girls and getting attention. But I can just let it go because I've had it before. Usually if someone's super calm about something, they've usually had it before. And so then she's gonna be like, wow, this guy was not only the center of the spotlight or the center of the crowd and center of attention, but he just doesn't give a fuck. Wow, that's even more attractive. It shows so many good qualities and it makes you look cool and not like an asshole. Because people will still admire you, but they'll think you're an asshole if you're hogging the spotlight. That's why it's important to share. So you can kind of just fuck off. So, or if you're in a social situation, right? Because most of you aren't going to be dancing in a dance circle. You're telling a story, and then you finish, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that's so crazy!" You're like, yeah, you know, and then you just be quiet, and you just back off, and you let someone else take because someone else is going to take the conversation and lead it. Unless, of course, you're the alpha and you're the one leading the conversation, then you want to jump to another topic and be like, "Oh yeah, but what about that thing you were saying?" Or, "Oh yeah, this random thing." But you just gently exit the stage. And that's super, super attractive because it's usually gonna lead that girl who really likes you to slowly make her way towards you. Maybe at a party you were telling a story and you're all standing around and you go, yeah. Oh, hey, I'm gonna go grab a drink, da-da-da. That girl's gonna find a way. She's gonna be like, oh, I'll come with you. I'll go grab a drink too. Or you'll be in there and she'll just happen to come in there. Then you need to capitalize on it. So that's one of the other two approaches is after you finish getting the spotlight, usually that girl's gonna be attracted to you, or you can look for the girls who are attracted to you. Maybe the girl that you like, you know, didn't really give a fuck, but this other girl who's also cute, she started giving you those eyes while you were getting to that part in the story where you're fucking this other girl or something, you know? Because you gotta tell good stories too, but that's another video. So you see that she's giving you those eyes and you have to learn how to recognize signs of attraction. Now, if you need help recognizing signs of attraction, we have a 7-day free mini course in the description below. Check that out. So you notice she's giving you signs of attraction. Then you slowly make your way over to her, right? You're not just gonna be like, okay, finish the story. Hi, bitch. Wanna fuck? Right, you need to naturally work your way around it. Maybe it's in a classroom setting and she saw you from across the classroom and she started giving you eyes. Okay, you wait till after the class. You wanna capitalize on things. There's no use in having the spotlight if you're not gonna use it. It feels great and then it fades. Use things. Everything's a tool. Reputation is a tool. Status is a tool. Social proof in the spotlight. Oh, I had social proof written over here. The spotlight is a tool. That's it. It feels good in and of itself, but then I'd rather be nobody in the crowd and then fuck a girl than have all the attention and then get nothing. And that happens a lot. You can be the coolest guy. I've had it happen tons of times. I'm the coolest guy at the party. Everyone's listening. Oh, fuck, sorry, bitch. Whatcha? Okay. I'm just slapping hoes and they're just fucking, oh my God, slap me again. And I'm getting all the attention, but then I don't fucking turn it into anything. And I go home alone. I'm like, you know? But some parties, I'm just like chill and I find this girl. I'm like, hey, you want to, boom, boom. I'd rather have that. Use these things. Don't become obsessed with status in the spotlight simply for its own sake. Always use it. It's just a tool. And I go over that in much more detail in my college book. It's in the description below. It's called King of College. It's about my college experiences. It applies to college, of course, and I have special details for how to get girls in the classroom, how to get them on campus, how to get them from the college bars, whatever. But it applies to high school, college, and after college, because it's still dealing with people, and people are always operating under these conditions and settings where someone has a spotlight, someone has the status, someone has the social proof, someone has the reputation, and someone doesn't. But I teach you how to be the one who has it and how to become a king, and how to get what you want, how to get friends, and how to get girls. And it applies to all aspects of life for college, during college, and after college. So check it out. It's called King College in the description below. But the point is, you need to use these things as tools. So the last way that you can use your status that you just got because you had the spotlight is then you start talking to the cool guys, right? There's two ways to get high status. You're hanging out with the hot girls and you're fucking the hot girls, or you're hanging out with the hot guys and you're fucking the hot guys. I mean, I guess it would make you high status if you fuck them too, but you're friends with the cool guys. So be friends with the high status guys and fuck the high status girls, or be friends with them, and you're gonna be high status by default, because that's the only definition. We only understand status relatively. There is no such thing as foundationally high status. The only thing that is high status is relativity, because you can be high status in one crowd, but not shit in another. So it's always relative, and it's condition, environment dependent. So when you get the spotlight, either retreat into the shadows and then pay attention to who's kind of feeling you now. That was weird. I was like, fuck me. It's so weird to be on camera and just like totally let loose, because you just have these small things that you do that just come out naturally, and you're like, oh, I'm kind of weird, you know? Whatever. It's fun. Yeah, it is natural, at least. I think it's the chalk. Okay, and I'm talking a lot, so I'm dehydrated. All right, so use the spotlight to then leave the spotlight, and then create that vacuum where then they come in and those girls give you attention, and then you kind of find a way to turn it into something. Or you can take a more proactive approach and you can go find those girls who are giving you those eyes, or maybe there's a cool guy in the group who maybe was just like, oh, this is another guy, but now you told this great story and he's like, oh man, that was so cool, like blah, 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 da, 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 because he sees you as high status now and he wants to associate with you. Because if you can be high status around him, then that means you're at least relatively around his value. So he's gonna want to become friends with you now, because the high status people want to stick together and the low status people want to stick together. Because if you could hang out with the coolest people, and I don't just mean like the cool kids, I mean genuinely cool, high value people who are nice and sweet, but also have great things about them. They're funny, they're successful, etc. You'd rather hang out with those awesome people, wouldn't you? It's kind of like if I could give you a 6 or a 10, you'd fuck the 10. Exactly. So high status people want to spend time with other high status people. So go find that cool guy who is now, or he's going to come to you, or go find that cool girl. Use the spotlight appropriately and use it to get what you want. And basically that just means getting friends, or getting girls, or getting money and social connections and business opportunities. Cool. So use this anywhere, anytime, at work, in your social circles, random bars, random clubs, classrooms, it doesn't matter. Everyone is always going to be looking at one or a few people. Someone is always going to have the spotlight. And if you know how to use it properly, then you can get pretty much anything that you want in this life. Okay, cool. Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell. Remember to check out that King of College book in the description below, and also the 7-day free mini course. And I'll see you soon.